What's up YouTube, Capital G here. Got an absolutely spectacular duel for you guys to check out. You know how on this channel I'm always talking about 200 IQ plays. Well, this could quite possibly be the smartest play I have ever seen in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh! This is not 200 IQ. This is 2 million, even quite possibly 2 billion IQ play. It was absolutely just a sight to behold. And shout outs to Killer Jetstorm from my live stream for actually submitting this duel to me. I couldn't even believe what actually happened. It was just so shocking. So you can see that we got Salaman Greats at the top. Looks like he's got some spicy tech for going second. Evenly matched can be quite the blowout card if you're playing any deck that is going second. And he's going to be dueling against Metafo Yang Zings. We know that Yang Zings still do have some powerful cards. I don't believe that Yang Zings have actually been power creeped. They still do have an Infernity Barrier. I think that, Called by the Grave definitely hurt the deck, but I digress. It's not a deck that's been power crept, in my opinion. Anyways, let's go ahead and roll this. So, you can see he is playing some Zephyr cards. That's pretty much just like par for the course at this point with Yang Zing, because you get access to Zephrani. Zephrani can get you Zephyr Divine Strike, so you can actually get more than one counter trap. He is going to search that 9 pillars. Now this was interesting, and this is already kind of letting you know that we're starting off with a smart Yu-Gi-Oh player. He's already got the spicy 200 IQ tech that is Zombow Wow. So this is an interesting guy that was pendulum summoned, and the main purpose of this card, from what I can see, is basically you summon this card, you destroy it with one of your Metafo cards, and then you can summon Chi-Wen, your Yang Zing level 1 tuner, straight from your deck. It summons a monster with 0 attack and defense, but it does summon it from your deck, so that's kind of cool. Chi-Wen can destroy itself, and then you can get another Yang Zing monster. It will float, so that's actually pretty solid. Now he is going to go ahead and he uses Lady the Bug off of his normal summon. That's going to get hit with the 9 pillars. Now, I thought that maybe he was safe from evenly matched because I was like, well, he has 9 pillars. He can negate that. But obviously, Salaman Greats can throw enough cards at you where you'll want to use the negation. And this is where I thought, oh my god, this is just like watching a train that's about to hit something. You know the devastation is coming. You just don't know how bad it's going to be. And he's going to go ahead. He's going to activate a couple of his Yang Zing cards. He's going to go ahead and activate Metafo's counter. He's putting everything on his field. This is the 2 billion IQ play. His opponent says enter battle phase. You obviously know, if you've ever played the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, what that means. It means your opponent has evenly matched. He says, F that, Cap G. I would rather kill myself than let this guy evenly match me. He is going to Black Rose his own field of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. He says, I'd rather destroy my field myself. He's gonna Black Rose his own field rather than let his opponent evenly match him. Now the thing is, a couple of his monsters actually do float. Now at that point, his opponent says, well, there's no point in using evenly match at this point. He is going to be able to kind of just combo off. He gets Roar in the graveyard. Simple Salaman Great things. He did have a natural extender that was Will, and it looks like Salaman Great should easily be able to coast the victory. He has Sunlight Wolf. He has Gazelle back in hand. He has his Infernity Barrier, which is Salaman Great Roar. Looks like this is an easy peasy lemon squeezy duel, but is it? This is where it's gonna start. He's gonna use Painful Decision, get that Metafo's Go Driver, and this is where the Yang Zing cards actually start putting in work. When you destroy them with the Metafo cards, and then you can kind of go plus, because you get to set a trap at the same time. You also get Yang Zing monsters to kind of replace themselves, and this is going to be where he makes this duel basically flip on its head. He goes for Yazzie, and he pops the copy of Roar. Now, it doesn't matter if he would have chained Roar or not. All that would have done was just destroy the Yazzie, and I believe it just would have activated anyways, so yeah, because it would have been destroyed. There was basically nothing he could do about that, and now he's going to summon a couple of his Yang Zing monsters from the graveyard. He summons one from the deck, and he's actually going to go for Beat Cop so that he can pendulum summon 3 using his opponent's extra monster zone that was open. Definitely helped. Thanks for being a bro. He's going to fusion summon into Mithrium. I believe that that's probably going to bounce something. Yep, bye-bye Jack Jaguar. Then he's going to activate Mithrium's effect after he link summoned it away, bringing out the Gold Driver from his extra deck, and just like that, Boral Sword Lord OTK out of nowhere. This duel looked impossible to win. I have no idea how he did it after black rosing his own field for like 6 cards, but you know what, guys? It was just 200 IQ. It was 2 million IQ. It was too smart for me to understand, and somehow, as improbable as it seems, he actually ends up winning the duel. Shout out to the Yangzing players, and you know what? In honor of that fabulous victory, let's go ahead for a second and check out this deck list. And here's what the deck list looks like on paper. You guys can see that as advertised, this is definitely a Yangzing and Metapho deck. That's pretty much almost all the monsters. Again, I do think that running Zephyr cards alongside of Yangzings definitely does make sense. And Yangzings and Metaphos together have always had natural synergy because the Yangzing monsters obviously float upon destruction. And rather than sitting around and waiting for your opponent to destroy them, the Metapho cards give you the ability to, you know, destroy them yourself. And obviously things like Heavy Metaphos Electromite are quite strong. I'm wondering about the 1 copy of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring. That just it just struck me as like bizarre. I don't know if he just wanted to get this at an even 50. I felt like maybe Zephyr Divine Strike would have made a little more sense because it is also searchable in this deck by Zephrani, and it's, you know, another solemn or I guess Infernity Barrier. If you open up with 9 Pillars and Zephyr Divine Strike, it can be incredibly strong against your opponent. 3 copies of Desires, I'm guessing because basically everything in this deck except a couple of the Yangzings, they're all kind of ran at 3, and it is a 50 card deck. Interesting enough, 3 copies of Zombow Wow. I guess just even more fodder. Pop this card with one of your Metapho cards, and then get to set one of your Metapho spells or traps on the field. In addition to that, you pull Chi-Win straight from your deck, and then when Chi-Win dies, it just like floats into another card. But definitely a really interesting build. It's nice to see Metaphos because, you know, right now we just kind of associate the Metapho name with Electromites and, you know, 10 negates and all that, but sometimes you got to remember where these decks came from. And if you're wondering about this card that doesn't have the art, this is a Palausa, which, you know, obviously can be made if you're going first or, you know, something of the sort.